Pleasant morning again, Mistress Brown Wilson and my housing, interior and furnishing cohort. I, Roxanne Moore, will be your presenter for this section of our group's presentation. So at this point, I'll be showcasing how I would go about applying balance, in which by now we should already know that balance is one of the principles of design to solve specific problems for selections of design's interior. So earlier, Mr. Sterling enlightened us about balance. And balance is basically the equilibrium achieved by arranging components symmetrically, asymmetrically, or radially. So it is safe to say that balance can be achieved in only those three ways. Additionally, balance is the idea that when you walk into a room, everything has its place. In other words, the visual calmness in a room. Well, class, earlier the manager of Fire Palace Hotel called me. I recorded the conversation. Please listen keenly. Hello?
Good day, Miss Moore. I am Mr. Cohen, the manager at the Fire Palace Hotel. I wish to hire you to furnish 3 living room areas at our hotel.
Wow, that's amazing! I would love to, but first tell me, do you have any special requests?
Well, we're hoping that you will furnish each room to display a balanced design.
Okay, Mr. Cohen, balance can be achieved in three ways: symmetrically, asymmetrically, or radially. Since there are 3 living room areas in which you wish for me to furnish, I can apply one of each way to each room if you like.
Sounds like a plan. But do remember that our hotel is called Fire Palace Hotel. So please do not forget to add a fireplace to each living room. Also, for the 3rd room, it has an open sea view which makes half of the room bright and the other half dull. Do something about that, please. It's driving me crazy.
Okay, no problem. I'll be there first thing tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you, Miss Moore.
So I am finished, and this is a symmetrically balanced living room. Reason being, symmetric is basically the idea of having a mirror image, and it's a great tool to create visual pairs. So as you can see, the electric fireplace, large orange sofa, the glass table along with its centerpiece, and the orange brick wall are aligned vertically alongside the middle of the living room. The chandelier is in the center of the ceiling above the glass table, and the orange to blue ombre curtains with the windows are on both sides of the brick wall that has the electric fireplace in the center. The electric fireplace, when aligns in the middle of any room, is the perfect example to showcase symmetry. Just imagine if we have to fold this living room vertically, you will notice that half of the electric fireplace would lap onto the other half. Same goes for the brick wall, the chandelier, the orange sofa and its pillows, the glass table and its centerpiece, and half of the orange carpet would lap onto the other half as well. So adding to this, the blue chairs along with the orange and white lamp and the orange tables are on the either side of the glass table, creating a mirror image, as you can see. and the identical flower picture frames that's on the opposite side of the adjacent walls also plays a valid role in resulting in this room to be considered a mirror image. Hence, based on the layout I enlightened about this room, we can conclude that it is indeed symmetrically balanced. And if you guys agree, please post yes in the chat. So before we move on, I want to also point out that I deliberately designed this room to display a complementary color scheme, which as you guys see, I use the color scheme orange and blue, and as we know, the colors orange and blue are located directly opposite of each other on the color wheel. It is evident that the orange color dominates, as I learned in previous class that the color scheme will indeed looks best when one color dominates, and I ensure that the orange dominates 2/3 of this living room area, as we know that it would look less pleasing if there's an equal split between orange and in fact the blue color. Okay, so for the second living room area, the objectives is to basically make this living room area asymmetric. So it is a bit more challenging to make a room asymmetric than symmetric. However, asymmetric allows more room for creativity. So to ensure that this room is asymmetric, one should bear in mind that asymmetric is indeed the idea of creating a balance with items that are different while maintaining cohesion simultaneously. So, in other words, items should share some form of similarities. For instance, being the same color, same in height or length, similar frames for painting, etc. So Mr. Cowan announced earlier over the phone that this room is the troublesome room due to the sea view that resulted from the wide open glass windows to the left, as you can see. So because of this, half of the room is dark while the other half is dull. And Mr. Cowan basically wants me to do something about this. So what can I do about this? Watch and see how I will go about to resolve this problem along with making this room asymmetrically balanced. So look at that beauty right there. So to basically minimize the problem that Mr. Cowan had with the room and the lighting, I decided to use two primary colors for the color scheme, which evidently is blue and yellow. So I used the blue and the yellow sofas that are opposite to each other to balance the lighting. So in other words, as you can see, the blue sofa is adjacent to the yellow sofa on the opposite side of the room. So we can consider the left half of the room as southern exposure, as it is closest to the lighting coming from outdoors. Hence, the left half of the room has a lot of exposure to the sunlight. And as a result of this, a cool color such as blue is ideal for the left side of the room. Hence, the blue sofa added alongside that area. On the other hand, the right side of the room can be considered as northern exposure, as the lighting for that half is limited. So in this case, a warm color would be ideal or suitable rather. As a result, I added the yellow sofa to lift the dull appearance. So by implementing the blue sofa to the left of the room and the yellow sofa to the right, it helps to create a visual calmness, which aid in balancing the room. But let us look at the bigger picture now. What makes this room asymmetric? So even though the sofas on the opposite side of the room are not of the same color, they are indeed adjacent to each other and they both have similar size. As you can see, the height and the length of both sofas are basically the same. They are not identical, but they are similar. And that's what differentiates a symmetric room versus an asymmetric room. So look at the picture frames. In the chat, let me know if you think if these picture frames contributes to the room being asymmetric and why. So I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to do that now, and 10 seconds begins now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
0.
Okay, so for those of you that says the picture frames contributed to the asymmetric look, you are indeed correct. I added the picture frames as they are similar, might not be the same color, but they are indeed the same size, and the frames are identical. They might not have the same color, and the pattern or design is basically similar, and it's evident that I am still maintaining the color scheme. Additionally, the flowers and the glass tables that's on the opposite side of the fireplace contributes to the living room space to be asymmetric. The glass tables are identical and the flowers are similar. They're basically the same size and they both are yellow. So we can now indeed conclude that the living room is asymmetric, and the ceiling light, center table with the flowers, the television, and the fireplace complements this. Alright, so we're moving on to living room number 3, and our objectives is to make this living room radially balanced. Alright, so this is the end product. So first and foremost, this living room displays a monochromatic design, which we know is a color scheme which uses one color, which indeed in this case is orange, tints, tones, and shades of that color. The tints and tones of orange is evident in this living room. So basically, radially balanced has to do with a circular or oval theme, which is evident in this room. The main focus should be the center of the room, and the chandelier, the circular orange sofa, and the circular carpet is indeed the focal point of this room, and that's what makes it radially balanced, even though we have less furniture to the right half of the room.